you're going to have 5 days of their players do as well. So keep your eyes open for that.
Yep, it's going to be a lot to talk about still, even though it's the offseason for Oklahoma football. It's a big offseason for them as they try to retool and bounce back from 2024. Is there a true freshman that can help them? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers. Jay, Michael Fasusi has been standing out at the Under Armour Next All-American game, and it just has me wondering, could he be that true freshman that stands out and earns a role on Bill Bedenbaugh's offensive line in 2025?
Yeah, day 1 and day 2, he ended up number 2 top performer there at the Under Armour Next All-American practices. And yeah, to me, he could be one of the shocking players that actually gets the opportunity to play a lot as a true freshman, maybe even fight his way in there as a starter. Now, we all know Bill Bedenbaugh does not start freshmen very often, but Anton Harrison did play a lot as a freshman. And if I'm correct, he actually had some opportunities. He actually started some games as a true freshman. And so if you come in there and you ball out, I know that Bill Bedenbaugh will give you that opportunity. And Michael Fasusi is one of those, man. He is that talented of a dude. Having him and then, of course, Ryan Fogier right there next to him. Man, Oklahoma's got a tackle that's going to be elite for at least the next 3 years.
Yeah, and another name, Caden Green. Caden Green started for the Oklahoma Sooners as a true freshman. It took a few weeks into the regular season for that to start playing itself out. But if Michael Fasusi is able to build on what he's doing at the Under Armour next game and can come into Norman and just ball out and spring ball, then why not? Like, this dude's a 5-star for a reason. Now, the game changes going from playing at Louisville to coming to Oklahoma and playing the SEC. At the same time, he's a big-time talent, and you got to like his chances of being able to go in there and compete for a role. Given that you've got Logan Howland coming back, you brought in Luke Baklenko, you brought in Derek Simmons at offensive tackle. At this point, Jake Taylor, Jacob Sexton are still on the roster. He's going to have kind of an uphill climb to earning a starting role. At the same time, nothing is guaranteed, I think, for anybody out there. Like, even a Derek Simmons or a Luke Baklenko, you're two guys that have a lot of experience, yet the game changes when you come to Oklahoma. And you've got to reestablish yourself and re-earn your role. So everybody's got a role to earn. Nothing is guaranteed, I think, at offensive tackle this year.
Yeah, that's a good thing about Bill Bedenbaugh is he's infamous for, like, he doesn't promise anybody starting. I can't guarantee you that. You got to come out there and show me that you can do it. And plus, that's one of the reasons why he's one of the most respected offensive line coaches in the NFL, or in college football. The NFL scouts believe that are NFL evaluators, because he does a really good job of teaching those offensive linemen multiple positions. He wants you to be able a plug and play guy no matter what. And that translates heavily at the NFL, because the NFL deals with injuries just as much as college. And so if you've got an elite tackle and you can slide him to guard for a few moments and then move him right back to tackle, the NFL likes that idea, mainly because once they start paying you all that money at tackle and they start dealing with a bunch of injuries and they need someone else that can help with it, they want to have that backup tackle to be able to slide right there in a guard and work together and build that chemistry. So the big thing is going to be how fast can Michael Fasusi not only pick up the blocking concepts, but also build continuity with the line. The good thing I think this is the advantage, though, John, if you really think about it, for Michael Fasusi, we're going to have a whole new offensive setup. So everybody's learning it together. So if he walks in there and excels quickly, yeah, he's definitely going to be up there as a starting tackle, either one of the sides, because that's going to be key. It's everybody's learning this system together. And so since it's a new system, the only person that's walking in there knowing this is John Mateer with Ben Arbuckle.
Right.
If he shows up and shows out physically, have that physicality that's needed, yeah, I could totally see him starting day one and pushing somebody out of their role.
And here's what Charles Power from On3 had to say about Michael Fasusi. I won't read you the whole thing, but I'll read just a little bit of it. Was the top offensive lineman on day one of Under Armour practice. He shows great twitch, a high-level punch, and a physical edge working at both left and right tackle. His plus length and was very light on his feet in individual drills and live action. Saw his patented power on contact during inside drills and the team period. No other offensive lineman on Team Unstoppable played with the level of physicality. Fasusi stymied pass rushers at the point of attack and generated a tangible tangible push in the run game. The Oklahoma signee backed up the film that has made him a 5-star plus prospect. Got to love the idea that he's playing with a lot of physicality, right? If there was one thing that you heard a regular complaint of from guys like Gabe Ikard, Teddy Lehman, that Oklahoma just wasn't physical enough along the offensive line in 2024. So if you bring a dude in with Michael Fasusi's skill ability, plus he's ready to get out there and get nasty, that might be the thing that kind of puts him over the edge of some of the guys that we've got right now. Is the dude wants to mix it up. And because you're going to need that. You need somebody to be out there and setting a physical tone for you, and that's especially the offensive line.
Yeah, you're going to need a guy that's going to go out there and not only push people around, but also push his teammates to be better. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the offensive line needs to look at that and be like, okay, I can't let this young pup come in here and just take my job like this. Can't have Michael Fasusi doing that. But if Bill Bedenbaugh's looking at him saying, hey, man, I see the young guy wants this. How bad do you want it? Y'all understand that you went through a whole season in the SEC and understanding going against these teams, how bad they want to just push your face into the ground. Are you going to let this young guy come in here and take that role from you and take that away from you? Or are you going to go in there and fight back and push those teams back around? Because, this is a revenge tour. I don't care what y'all say. This is a revenge tour for all of us, so buckle up for it. But that's what you want. You want a guy that's going to be able to push everybody else to want to be better and outdo each other. And I think Fasusi can do that, man. I'm so glad that, Bill Bedenbaugh was able to land him. We know that there's a love and a bond there. And they know the potential that he has. And so because of that, I kind of expect him to – I don't expect him to start day one, but I do expect him to end up in a starting spot, at least in one of the non-con games this season.
Yeah, and also let's not sleep on Ryan Foje, a top 10 offensive tackle in the class and a dude that I think has got every bit of NFL prospects as a guy like Michael Fasusi. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. You can check out his channel over on YouTube, Unfair Sports. Follow me at John9Williams. You can read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer.
Sooner.